Hey guys, what's up? It's your boy, one and only AI Legends, and yeah guys, today I am back with the next part of What If Naruto Was Neglected and was Satoru Gojo. So yeah guys, without wasting any more of your time, let us start the video. But before starting the video, I would like to congratulate all of you guys for 2022. I was not able to upload video as I was not in my home, as that was the main reason I was not able to upload video. Otherwise, I would have uploaded at the, you can say, beginning of the 2022. But still, yeah guys, congratulations to you all, and without wasting any more of your time. But before starting this video, I would like to make a request to all of you guys to come on guys, please subscribe to my channel. I'm quite near to 10k and hopefully I will be able to reach it at the end of this month, and I will try my best to upload as much videos as I can in this month because I have some time. So yeah guys, let us enjoy some videos. So please guys subscribe and follow me on Instagram by the page name of AI Legends 1234. Just search it on Instagram, you should be able to find it, and follow me on Instagram. So yeah guys, let us start the video. Last time we left off as we saw that how Naruto finally made his own clan when the elders as well as the council told Naruto that how he was exiled from both the Uzumaki as well as the Senju clan. As Naruto was a bit surprised about it, but not that much, as Minato wanted to talk with Naruto. As a matter of fact, he also wanted to name Naruto as a clan heir once again so he could be part of the clan. But Jiraiya told him that from the very first day of the training of both Menma and Naruto, they have told them that how they are going to be the clan heads of Senju as well as the Uzumaki clan respectively, even though the laws clearly state that Naruto should be the clan heir or the clan head in the future, but still they never even considered him to begin with. And if they just told Menma and Naruto that hey, well, you see that you're no longer clan heir because we gave it to your brother, it will not so end so well with them. And who knows, being prophecy and all those type of thing, as Jiraiya was finally able to convince Minato that it was not a great idea to name Naruto once again the clan heir. It is not like he's just exiled from the clan. He's not going to die or anything like that. But if Menma and Naruto were to follow the path of darkness, then he will certainly die along with Konoha as well as the elemental nations. After all, Menma and Naruto are far important than Naruto could ever hope to be, as Minato did not like how his father said that, but still, there was some merit to it. He was Hokage, he has to save his people. As Minato finally agreed with Jiraiya, as Minato talked with Naruto, as Naruto told him that he was expecting that. After all, he was there when they started to train Menma and Naruto, and how they told him that how they are going to be the clan heirs and clan head. And Naruto was not that, you can say, stupid. After all, he was a born genius, a prodigy. So he was easily able to figure out all the things that were there, and already was expecting it. So Naruto finally made the Satoru clan, as Jiraiya wanted to know this Kekkei which Naruto possessed. After all, Jiraiya firmly believes that it is only because of the Kekkei that Naruto is this strong, and Menma and Naruto are also the triplets with Naruto, which only means that Menma and Naruto one day will also activate this Kekkei, and with all the training, they would be far stronger than Naruto could hope to be. Along with the Kyuubi's chakra, they will be unstoppable, and then they will save the world. And that was the thought of Jiraiya. So yeah guys, that was the last part. As Minato finally decided to, you can say, put Naruto out of the Ambu because Jiraiya convinced him that it would be a great idea too for Naruto to spend some time out of the Ambu and train Menma and Naruto. Who knows, they might learn something from him if Naruto is this strong. As Minato also saw that how it was a great opportunity. So yeah guys, that was the last part. So let us begin the part from here on. As Minato had a small smile on his face as the council meeting finally ended, as an Ambu landed beside him, as Minato said, alright, summon Naruto. As he was about to say Senju, but then he remembered and felt a bit sad, but still, he had things to handle. As he said, bring me Naruto Satoru. As the Ambu nodded at that as he went off, as Minato was still in the council room. As after some time, Naruto finally arrived, pretty bored and pretty angry. His paperwork was still going on with a new clan position, so he was not a part of this council meeting. As Naruto simply looked towards him, pretty annoyed, but see, still he hid it. As he said, you summoned me, Lord Hokage. As Minato nodded at that, as he said, well, Naruto-san, the council has decided that you are temporarily going to be out of the Ambu. As Naruto raised an eyebrow, though no one was able to see it since he was wearing blindfold. So yeah, as Naruto said, As Minato said, Well, it is not permanent, but of course it is your own choice. As Naruto speak up, so what do you want me to do? Babysit children's? At this, there was a silence, as Naruto already figured out, as a sigh at that, as Minato said, well, not babysitting, well, actually, the council has decided that how you're going to be promoted to Jonin. After all, you're going to be the clan head of your newly formed clan, Satoru clan. So it is going to be good for you to spend some time with the villagers as well as some other shinobis of the regular rank. It will help you and help your reputation. And while you're at it, you're going to train a team at that as well. As Naruto sigh at that, already knowing that this was coming, as Minato was pretty grateful that he was able to convince the council as Naruto simply looked towards him. And what will be the team, Lord Hokage? As Minato said, well, this year we have decided to do a different thing, Naruto. As you see, there was an odd number of graduates. After all, Menma and Naruto also passed. So you can say that it really tip off the balance. As Naruto simply looked towards him, well, you can always take some students out and they can always, you can say, go to the hospital or wait for next year. As Minato simply nodded, well, that may be true, Naruto, but we are trying to make a new high assault team, a strong one on that. So, you're going to be the Jonin sensei, along with another Jonin sensei. As Naruto simply sighed at that, already figuring out what is going on here. As Minato said, well, your team is going to be Team 7, which is going to consist of your siblings, Menma, Naruto, as well as Uchiha Sasuke, who is the last survivor of the Uchiha clan, as Naruto remembered clearly. Itachi, though was not that, you can say, compliment of an Uchiha, but still, whenever he liked to fight with Naruto, his Uchihas always shine. Uchiha blood always shine as the jealousy he has seen several times in Itachi. Though Naruto never cared about it, after all, he was able to progress far quicker and greater speed than Itachi, even though Itachi was a prodigy, as he was quickly overshadowed by the likes of Naruto being a Senju and all, and rivalry with Itachi. Though Naruto simply shook that off, remembering the day when Itachi massacred his, you can say, clan. Though Naruto never paid much attention to it and he did not bother with it that much. As then you can say Naruto simply looked towards him, and what will be special about it? As Minato said, well, I'm not complete about it, Naruto, and it's also going to consist of another member known as Sakura Haruno, as well as Sai. As Naruto simply looked towards him, waiting for the next name, as Minato said, well, his name is only Sai, Naruto. As Naruto simply nodded at that, already figuring out that it has something to do with Danzo, with the way Danzo was simply looking towards him. As Naruto said, well, I'm going to be the Jonin sensei, but I don't think that it will be that competent. You know that I'm the same age of those brats, even though I'm far stronger than them. But it is beside the point, as Minato simply nodded. But of course, Naruto, and you're going to be assistant of another Jonin. It will help you to be comfortable with the Jonin position and know how the village actually works. As Naruto simply nodded at that, as he said, well, the other Jonin sensei is going to be your mother, Kushina. As Naruto simply looked towards her, as he sighed once again, as Kushina had a nervous smile on her face, as Naruto simply nodded at that. And when am I supposed to meet my team? As Minato simply nodded, well, it will be tomorrow, Naruto, as you will pick your team along with Kushina-san here from the academy, as Naruto simply nodded at that and simply vanished from the area, as Minato let out a sigh of relief as finally the meeting was over. And if Naruto wanted to stay in the Ambu, there was little which Minato could actually do, and the council would have definitely supported it. Flashback from Minato, as Minato has just announced his decision to put one of their most powerful and talented Ambu, who is doing double S rank missions for village and bringing out funding from the village, as Minato suggested that how he's going to bring Naruto out of the Ambu, and there was a loud yell of what, as all the, you can say, elders and the some of the clan heads were simply looking towards Minato as if he has lost it. So as the elders were pretty angry, as they simply looked towards Minato. Minato, what are you even thinking? You do realize that the Ambu which you are talking about is one of the strongest and bringing out a lot of funds for Konoha. As Minato simply nodded. Well, that may be true, but I think that it's about time so that he can experience his life as a Jonin as well as be with the village. It will help his loyalty to be even greater, and being the clan head, it will help him. As Shibi, speak up. You have doubt of his loyalties, Lord Hokage, as Minato simply shook his head. No, it is not actually that. It is just that Naruto is in the Ambu, as I have seen the reports, thanks to Shikaku's son, as he shot a glare to Shikaku, who mutters something about troublesome blondes. As, as he is in the Ambu from a very young age, and I do not want a repeat of Itachi, a young prodigy in the Ambu. Not as successful as Naruto, but still, he was a prodigy. And look what happened. I do not want something like this to happen to him. So I'm putting him out of the Ambu for some time. Though of course it is his own choice if he wants to join it after he teaches one or two teams. As there were several murmurs going on, as the elders were not so happy about it. Hokage was clearly doing it because of Naruto being his son and all you can say crap being trying to be with him or trying to reconnect with him, though they simply did not care about it that much, as they simply looked towards Minato. And what do you suggest, Hokage? As he said, well, this year Ganin teams are ready and we are having a odd number of combatants, as they simply look towards Minato. And what do you suggest, Hokage? As Minato said, well, I'm making a team of high assault team. It is going to be consist of 5 members, which is consist of Menma Naruko, Sasuke Uchiha, Sakura Haruno, as well as a new member which joined the academy at the end of the time, as he shot a glare to Danzo, who had a neutral look on his face. This character sighed as Minato said, well, I'm going to make it a high assault team from their talents and things like that. And I think that Kushina, being their Jonin commander, as well as I think that Naruto could help being a Jonin as well. It will help their progress, as there were several murmurs going on, as several canheads knew that Naruto's reputation, as they were wondering if Naruto was out of the Ambu, he could train their children. It seemed that the Hokage was favoring his children way too much now. It was already bad enough that Minato took a leave from the office, which never happened in years. As a matter of fact, it never happened. Besides, Hokage going out, you can say being an ambassador or in some other country, as he leave the council or his advisors in charge, as it was already bad enough that they allowed Jiraiya of the Sanin and so many Sanins, as well as Esra and Shinobi, to train 2 brats, and it did not even please them that much. One tail worth of chakra controlling and barely at a low to mid tuning for all of these years, while on the other hand, they were prodigies like Shisui, Uchiha, and Sasuke. Sorry, Itachi, Uchiha, and not to mention their biggest prodigy, Naruto, Satoru, and these 2 brats took the time of so much time of S-rank shinobis, and they were barely strong as a chunin. As I simply shook his head, not wanting to say it on the face of Hokage or wanted to anger him. After all, he was still the yellow flash. As they simply looked towards Minato, as Minato said, alright, it is completed I guess. And now summon Naruto. Flashback end. As Minato saw, he knew that the council had a, you can say, his reputation in the council has really took a hit from that. But alas, he has to do it for the sake of his children's, as well as for the sake of the world. As that was the thought of Minato. Now let us cut back to Naruto. And the next day, finally, you guys wanted me to, you can say, beat Man by Naruto around, so the scene is coming soon enough. So stay through the video. As now, let us start with the next day. As now, let us start in the academy. As all the academy graduates were finally there. As the class was still, you can say, doing the casual thing, as Sakura being fawning over along with, you can say, Ino. Ino has now a new crush on Menma, being the Hokage son and all. While on the other hand, Sakura being ever dedicated Uchiha fangirl. So yeah, as Sakura was still, you can say, loyal to Sasuke, being a fangirl and all. While on the other hand, Ino has a new crush on Menma. While on the other hand, Menma was simply shooting a glare towards Sasuke, as well as Sasuke was returning it, as both of them quickly became rivals, as both of them were famous for one reason or another. Menma being the son of Hokage, as well as it was common knowledge that Menma was the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails, a hero child of the Hokage who has saved the village. Same was the case with Naruto. So both of them were pretty famous. While on the other hand, Naruto also got a crush on Sasuke. While on the other hand, Sasuke simply ignored all of them while thinking about Itachi. I'm going to kill you. As those type of thoughts were going through, you can say Sasuke's mind, as well as thinking how he's going to dominate the battle between his brother and finally kill him to avenge his clan. While on the other hand, Menma and Naruto were waiting patiently, already knowing that this prick is going to be in their, you can say, team. While on the other hand, Naruto was pretty happy, as well as she was also glaring at Sakura, who was returning the glare towards Naruto. As now, after some time, Aruka finally entered the class as he gave his speech. I just don't want to go into that. As you can say, Iruka gave his speech and said, Alright, now the team starts. Team 1. As they started to announce the team, and finally, it came the time of Team 7. As Iruka said, Alright, Team 7 is going to be a special case, a heavy assault team. It is going to be. As Kiba simply looked towards Iruka as he said, What do you mean by that, Iruka sensei? As Iruka said, Well, this team is going to consist of two senseis, as most of the clan's heirs simply looked towards Iruka as a frown at that. As they knew that Sasuke was an Uchiha and they were, you can say, man by Naruto, but giving them two senses, well, it was definitely a favoritism. But they simply shrugged it off, not caring. While on the other hand, Kiba was not so happy about it. But one shot from the, you can say, Iruka saying that he can take it up to Hokage as he shut up. As he said, Alright, as I was saying, this team is going to consist of 5 members and 2 senses. So, here it began. Sasuke, Uchiha, Sakura, Haruno, as there was a big yay as you know the yell of or screech of Sakura, as most of the male members simply looked towards their ears as they were already bleeding. As while on the time Menma gritted his teeth and they said, Well, the next member is going to be Sai. And of course, the other last two members are going to be Menma Senju Uzumaki, as well as Naruko Uzumaki Senju. And this Sakura shot a glare towards Naruko, who smirked at that, as this was the team, and your senses are going to be Kushina Uzumaki. At this, most of the members were happy. Even Sasuke had a small smirk, knowing that Kushina was a strong Kunoichi, as she was friends with his mother. Though he did not care about his mother, so he will not care about her. And only thing he needs is training. And the last member of your sensei is going to be Naruto Satoru. As most of the people were surprised, well, while on the other hand, most of the clan heirs already knew who they were talking about, especially Shikamaru. As a matter of fact, he has played some shogi with that Ambu commander as well for some time, though he never won, but still, yeah, he was a great competition. As Shikamaru already figured out, as well as the other clan heirs, as their parents talk about this specific guy, while on the other hand Sasuke was confused about it, though he did not care about it whatsoever. While on the other hand Sasuke thought that this name Naruto, he has heard it somewhere else before, but he simply shrugged it off. While on the other hand Sakura did not care, as Manma gritted his teeth. No matter, he has to just tolerate it for some time. As soon as his Kekkei will activate, he will tell that loser his true place and show him that how he is the destiny child and Naruto is nothing, Sensei are not. As he smirked at that and savored the thoughts of Naruto. As now, after some time, you can say the sensei started to arrive, and finally, the sensei of Team 7 finally arrived. And Menma smirked as his mother, as Kushina smiled at all the students that were there, finally, as she was waiting for Naruto, who was still not there. As she simply looked towards the area, as she said, Alright, Team 7, get ready. Meet me at the rooftop. As she simply said that, after that, she simply sent away, wondering where Naruto could actually be. As she finally arrived, as there was no one, as after some time, the Team 7 finally arrived at the rooftop, and she said, Alright, allow me to introduce, but before she could say anything, as there was a lightning strike to the ground of the rooftop, as Kushina bring out her sword as well as all the Ganins bring out their kunai, wondering what is going on here. As came out of it was a guy. You can say Naruto simply arrived with his white hair, as most of them was, you can say, Sasuke as well as Sai, who already knew this guy, heard rumors but never saw him, and heard legend of the moon eye of Konoha. While on the other hand, Sakura did not care, while Menma gritted his teeth trying to look cool, as well as Naruto was also not so happy about it. As Naruto said, Yo, it seems that I'm late, huh? Kushina-san. As Kushina simply looked towards her son pretty happy that their relation is not that tense, but in Naruto's eyes, there is no relation to begin with. So he simply said, "Yo," as Sakura simply looked towards her sensei, pretty confused, as she said, "Who are you?" As, or rather, he screeched, "Who are you?" As Naruto simply looked towards her and said, "Hmm." But before he could say anything, as Kushina said, "Well, it is going to be your new sensei, the other sensei. His name is Naruto." As she was about to say Senju Uzumaki, but she remembered that he is no longer a part of Uzumaki or the Senju clan, which saddened her once again. As she said, "Well, his name is Naruto Satoru," as Naruto complete. As then you can say, "Sakura, speak up." But sensei, he's the same age as us. How can he be a sensei? As Sasuke was glaring at Naruto, as he already came up with the conclusion that this guy was a Jonin and he was at the same age as him. He was an Uchiha elite. How dare they promote him out of before him? As you can say, Sasuke was not so happy about it whatsoever. As as Kushina, speak up. Alright, enough. Alright, as I was saying before, my name is Kushina Uzumaki, and allow us to introduce ourselves. As all of them looked towards Kushina, as they simply nodded at that, while Udita and Menma and Naruko shot a glare towards Naruto, as well as Sasuke also shot a glare as if something has been stolen from him, which was his birthright to be superior to everyone. As Naruto simply plainly ignored all three of them as he took a seat in the rooftop as Kushina said, "Alright, introduce yourself." As Sakura, being looking at Sasuke glaring at her new sensei, she also glared at Naruto for some time as she said, "Why don't you start, sensei?" As Kushina said, of course." As she said, "Well, my name is Kushina Uzumaki Namak Senju, and my likes are," as she started to go through likes and dislikes and things like that. As then they simply looked towards Naruto as he was looking towards the sky, completely and utterly ignoring all of them, which angered, you can say, Menma as well as Sasuke mostly, while Onitata and Naruto, as following the example of her superior, such as Sakura, was also looking towards Sasuke, completely ignoring Menma for some time, as Menma was not so happy about it as well. As Naruto said, "Oh, did you say something?" As Kushina had a face of utter horror, remembering the type of Kakashi, as Kakashi also used to wear, you can say, a mask, while on the other hand Naruto wear a blindfold. But she simply threw that out of the window as she said, "Well, Naruto, they're saying you to introduce yourself." As Naruto said, "Oh, well, my name is Naruto Satoru." As after saying that, he simply started to look away. At this, there was silence for some time as Kushina let out a nervous laugh. Well, that was great introduction. Why don't you begin, Pinky?" As Kushina, as Sakura was not so happy about it, as she said, "Well, my name is Sakura Haruno, and my likes are," as she looked towards Sasuke as giggle, "and my dislikes are Ino Pig and my new sensei," as she shot a glare towards Naruto, who simply ignored her. And he said, "And my dream is," as she simply looked towards Sasuke and giggled, as Sasuke simply ignored them, and he said, "Alright, why don't you begin, Sai?" Was it? As Sai simply looked towards her, "Well, my name is Sai, and my likes are painting, and my dislikes, well, I think that would be traitors." As things started to go as Menma and Naruko started to say that they want to become Hokage clan head, and they want to, you can say, utterly destroy someone. As they shot a glare towards Naruto, who simply ignored both of them, as which angered both of them even further. And now came the time for the Emo King, as Kushina saw looking towards her team, as she do not know what happened to Menma and Naruko. They were so good of childrens, and lately she is sensing so much malice, hatred, anger coming from both of them. As she simply sighed at that, as she simply looked towards Sasuke, as he said, "Why don't you begin, Sasuke?" As Sasuke said, "My name is Sasuke Uchiha." As he started to go his dramatic thing, as Sakura as well as Naruko had star in her eyes. As Kushina looked towards Naruko as she sighed, she was never a fangirl of Minato, though she liked Minato in the academy, but still, as this is already borderline obsession. And what happened to Naruko, damn it? As she thought that in her mind, as she said, as she sighed, "Alright, why don't we begin the test today? What do you say, Naruto, son?" As Naruto simply shrugged it off. "Well, good for me. As I said, Kushina simply nodded at that. Alright, let us go to training ground 7. As all of them simply went to the training ground 7. As Kushina simply looked towards them with a smile and said, Alright, today we are going to have a small test to see that if you guys are truly ready to be Ganins. At this, all of them looked towards Kushina, pretty confused. As Naruto simply looked towards her, already knowing what is going to happen. As Kushina gave a bell to Naruto, as two bells to Naruto and two bells to herself, as she said, well, as she gave one bell to Naruto and two bells to herself. Well, you guys, you already know that a team usually consists of three members, but since this time we have more than three members, so we gave you a chance. But as you see that we simply cannot have too many Ganins in our rank, so only three of you are going to pass. And for to pass, you guys have to do only one thing, and that is take these bells from us, and those who have the bell will pass. Those who do not have the bell will go back to academy. At this, Sakura's eyes widen. She simply cannot let her Sasuke-kun be in the care of that damn Naruko, and she will not have it, as her inner self was already screaming at her to get the bell. As while on the other hand, Sasuke was thinking about how he's going to kill the Itachi, and then he noticed that what Kushina said, no, nothing will stop him from avenging his clan. He's a avenger. As Sasuke thought that in his mind, as Menma scoffed, it is nothing. As same were the thoughts of Naruko. I can easily do this, and I'm going to get the bell from that loser and show him his true place. As both of them smirk, and who knows, they might get the opportunity to get his blood. As they smirk at that, Asai had a neutral expression on his face, so he did not care whatsoever. His life is completely set. He's a member of Root. So yeah, as Kushina said, so guys, are you ready? Let us begin. 3, 2, 1. As all of them simply scatter around the area. As Kushina simply looked towards Naruto as he said, well Naruto, are you ready about this test? As Naruto simply looked towards her as he sighed, but of course I'm ready. They are just simple Ganins, not even worth my time. As this was not, you can say, Naruto's usual self, he was pretty annoyed. He's used to do double astronomic missions, and here he's babysitting children's. As he sighed at that, not even caring about it. As Kushina sighed, as she was about to say something else, but then several kunai rushed towards her as she quickly jumped away. As Naruto looked towards the kunai who were already coming towards him, as Naruto sighed, this is pretty boring. As he simply moved his hand as a gust of wind as scattered all the kunais around. As Naruto noticed a paper bomb on it, as Naruto simply smirked at that, as Naruto pointed a single hand towards the, you can say, area in which a small boom happened as there was a smirk on the face of Menma that will teach that loser a lesson now that mom is not here. As he looked towards Naruko, are you ready to get the blood of our brother? As she simply smirked at that, but of course, that loser Sakura as well as the Sai character will help Sasuke-kun to get the bells from mom. I'm pretty sure that mom will go easy and we will get the blood of our brother. As both of them smirk at that as they dashes towards the area in which smoke was already happening. As both of them came on the other side, as they were surprised, they thought that they caught him. As then a voice interrupted them as he said, so it seemed that you did learn something from your parents in all of this time of training, huh? As both of them looked upward to see Naruto easily sitting in the branch of a tree, looking pretty bored. As a matter of fact, he was simply lay down across the branch. As man must smirk at that as he said, well, it seems that you're not as much of a coward as I thought of you before. As Naruto simply looked towards him. Well. And why do you think of me as a coward, brother? As man must smirk as he said, but of course you ran away, seeing that how we were far better than you could ever hope to be. And that is the main reason you ran away, didn't you, huh? Mom and dad did not even care. As a matter of fact, they did not even notice your absence whatsoever. But we did. At this, as Kushina was also hearing this, she was not that far away. Being a shinobi, her senses, especially her hearing and smell, was pretty enhanced. And being an Uzumaki was only top of it, as she was also hearing it, pretty intrigued. in the beginning, and now she was already dreading what she is actually hearing. As Naruto said, well, then do tell, brother. What are you even talking about? As Menma smirked, well, we did notice your absence, you fool, and it was not. I think that it was after 1 month, I guess. Mom and dad even not even noticed. As while on that time Naruto was moving back as she was trying to trap Naruto or trying to do something. As Naruto also noticed that while Manma and Naruto thought that he was pretty preoccupied, especially with that blindfold on his eyes, was making it far too easy for them to get what they want from him. As Naruto already had a syringe in her hand ready to get the sample of blood, and then she and her brother will have true brother will have this Kekigenka, and then she will be able to impress Sasuke-kun, as she thought that in her mind, as her new goal is, Sasuke and Sasuke that. So yeah, as man must merge, as I said, but of course, we simply ignored it. After all, mom and dad did not care, so why should we? After all, it was clear that you are just a failure, nothing more than that. As Naruto simply looked towards him, as then a smirk came to the face of Naruto. If I'm so much of a failure, Menma, then why am I joining and you are, but a pesky Ganin? At this, Menma blood boiled as he threw the plan out of the window. Even Ruko got pretty angry as he said, "What did you say, you damn loser?" As he found a Rasengan in his hand as he said, "Rasengan!" as he rushed towards Naruto. As Naruto simply looked towards him, in his eyes, or rather, in his covered eyes, as both Manma and Naruto were simple that as moving at the speed of a civilian in the eyes of a you can say sage of six paths as they were moving that slow. As Naruto simply sighed at that as both of them were coming towards him as Naruto moved with incredible speed, and the next thing both Menma and Naruto saw that how both Menma and Naruto were aiming the Rasengans at each other as their eyes widened as their brother moved with incredible speed, pushing them towards each other. And at the same moment, as both of their attacks collided with each other, making a boom, as both of them would smash into several trees as they let out a scream of pain. As Menma grumbled at that as he stood up, how dare this loser to trick him and use his own sister against him. As Naruto also got pretty angry, "You damn bastard!" as she used her chakra chains rushed towards Naruto. As Naruto simply sighed as he smirked, as he grabbed the chakra chain of Naruto, putting them all together. As Naruto's eyes widened, as Naruto as she was about to cancel the technique, but it was already too late. As Naruto pulled her towards himself and started to rotate her into a circular motion with chains. As Menma's eyes widened as he was about to help Naruto, but Naruto threw the chains towards as Menma. As Naruto was slammed into Menma, both of them were sent flying into the trees. As Naruto simply looked towards them, as he simply ignored them. While on the other hand, Kushina was handling pretty easily, as Sasuke was exclaiming that how he's an Uchiha elite and he deserved the bells. As Kushina was wondering how did the son of her best friend ended up like this, as she sighed at that, knowing that it was a bad idea to leave Sasuke to his own devices after the Uchiha massacre. As she simply shook her head, as Sasuke released a gigantic fireball towards her, which she used, you can say, a small direct water jutsu and ended it. And ended it. And after some time, seeing that how her Sasuke-kun was in danger, as Sakura, being ever a hero, throw two useless kunais, which Kushina did not even care to notice, as she easily dodged them. While on the other hand, as Sai was waiting for an opportunity, as he saw as he was not a fool to ever consider or underestimate someone of a caliber of a Moon Eye of Konoha, said to be double S rank, took out an army himself, and Sai was no fool. As Menma and Naruto may be fools, but not him. But then there was a burst of red chakra around the forest as Kushina's eyes widened. What is Menma and Naruto even thinking, trying to use Ninetales chakra? As she was pretty worried about Naruto, though she knew that Naruto is no weakling, but pretty interesting at the same time, while on the other hand far away. As within the crystal ball, as Minato, as well as Jiraiya and Tsunade were watching the battle as Minato has a frown on his face, while on the other hand Jiraiya was wondering if they will be able to get the blood sample. He has not told Minato what Menma and Naruto are trying to do, but still, if they get it, he is pretty sure that he will be able to convince Minato that it is for the good of the world, good of Konoha, good for Menma and Naruto. After all, they are far important than Naruto could ever hope to be. And Minato will understand, just like he has been understanding for years. As while on the other hand, Minato was looking towards the battle, as he simply shook his head, as he said, Manma and Naruto trying to use the ninth chakra, huh? As Tsunade speaker, well, this should be interesting. Let's see if they can handle. As if Naruto could actually handle the one tail, though I seriously doubt it. After all, both Manma and Naruto are going to work together and using the one tail worth of ninth chakra. Let's see if Naruto's reputation is actually worth it. As Minato simply looked towards his mother as he said, "What are you even talking about, mom? You and I both know Naruto's reputation as an S rank shinobi is completely worth it." As Tsunade simply looked towards Minato, my boy, you are so innocent. You do not understand. Naruto do not have the skills to back up his shinobi skills, and only thing he has is his his Kekkei, and without it, he's nothing. As Minato was not so happy about listening to his parents always badmouthing his son, saying that how he's nothing without his Kekkei, as Minato simply looked towards them. Well, as far as I have seen, Naruto has not even used his Kekkei to begin with, and he's already beating Manma and Naruto to a pulp. Well, Minato was feeling pretty odd as he's supporting one of his son and disrespecting the other two, but still, he simply cannot tolerate his parents insulting one of his children, as Tsunade had a frown on her face as Jiraiya simply looked towards Minato, as he simply shook his head. Well, that is beside the point, Minato. Menma and Naruto are not even serious to begin with. Trust me, without the Kekkei Naruto is nothing. And I'm pretty sure that he will reveal his Kekkei soon enough. And then you will see that as Minato simply shook his head as he looked towards the battle, as there was an inhuman roar as both Manma and Naruto rushed towards Naruto, as Naruto simply looked towards them, with them, you can say, in his hands, in his pocket, as Naruto had a small smirk on his face, as Manma tried to claw Naruto, but Naruto moved around his body, and the next moment, Naruto was sitting behind Manma, as Naruto also arrived, tried to use her chakra chains along with her, you can say, ninth chakra, as Naruto was a bit impressed. After all, ninth chakra and the chakra chains are opposite to each other. They suppress effect each other. As Naruto simply shrugged it off, as it must be some seal. As Naruto once again dodged all the chains, as now Naruto was dancing around the area, and Menma and Naruto were trying to hit him. If you have seen the fight between Gojo, as well as Sakumo, first transformation of the guy. It is the same battle as Naruto simply dodging around the area as Menma, as Naruto were getting frustrated as Naruto said, "Damn you, sit still." As Naruto simply jumped around the area, now having more than enough, as Naruto back kicked Naruto on the face, sending her flying into the trees. As Menma tried to use his Rasengan on Naruto, as Naruto grabbed the hand of Menma, while still he was coated with the chakra cloak of the nine tails, as Minato was wondering what is even going on in the head of Naruto, trying to touch the yokai of the Biju is dangerous, as Jiraiya smirked. "Didn't I tell you, Minato? He has no skills whatsoever. He's even touching the yokai of the Biju. He's out of his mind." As Tsunade completely agreed, but then suddenly something happened they never thought, as Naruto moved the arm of Menma with such, you can say, speed and velocity. It snapped as Menma let out a scream of utter pain, and the next moment Naruto's foot connected with the face of Menma, slamming him into the ground, making a large crater there. As Menma as looked towards him, as he gritted his teeth as Naruto also tried to arrive there, as Naruto moved. As the next thing, Naruto saw that a hand was pressing against her stomach, and then a force of, you can say, a pulsive force sent Naruto flying. As both Menma and Naruto does not understand what is even going on here. They are using the yokai of the Biju as a protection. Naruto should not be able to touch them whatsoever, and Taijutsu should be out of option to begin with. As Naruto simply looked towards them, as he started to speak, as Minato was also interested, he saw that Naruto's arm and hand was not effective whatsoever. As Naruto simply looked towards him, as he started to laugh, as he said, Did you honestly believe that just because you are coated in a Biju yokai, I cannot touch you, huh? Your yokai is nothing but a chakra, and chakra is everywhere within the nature. If you can touch it, just because the nature of your yokai is acidic, it does not mean that I cannot repulse it or I cannot touch it. I easily neutralize the effect, and as a matter of fact, it is you who cannot touch me. As Menma moved, as Naruto was already behind him, as Menma jumped out of the way, we shall see about it. As he released his palm towards Naruto, trying to punch him, as he made a Rasengan ready to slam it into his brother, as Naruto bring out his arm, as then Tsunade said, he's trying to stop the Rasengan with his arm. He has lost it, Minato, as Minato was also watching it, pretty interested, but then suddenly something happened they never thought even possible, as Menma's Rasengan met with an invisible wall, as if it was not even able to penetrate it, as Menma was trying his best to push it, but it was not working whatsoever, as if there was an invisible wall stopping it. As Naruto said, did you honestly believe that you can touch me, brother? Well, perhaps a fool you are. Nothing more than that. If you were truly trained by so many shinobis, you are truly a disappointment. I will, at your best, I will give you a mid tuning, and even using Nanda's chakra, you're not that strong. As Manma growled, shut up, you damn loser, you are nothing. As Naruko also joined it with the Rasengan at the back of Naruto. To her surprise, she was also stopped with the same invisible wall, as both of them were trying their best to push it, trying to penetrate it, but it was not working whatsoever. As Naruto started to yawn, as I said, now I'm getting bored. As Naruto snapped his finger, as a dome of energy surrounded Naruto, pushing both Melma and Naruko so fast and so hard, as both of them were literally sent flying through the area, knocking both of them out. As Naruto yawned, as I said, well, that was boring, as he started to walk away to see that Kushina has already dealt with all of the three Ganins as they were knocked out. As Naruto simply looked towards her. So, as Naruto said, as Kushina said, so what happened, Naruto? As Naruto simply shrugged, disappointing, I guess. As he simply went off, as Kushina frowned at that. She has trained along with Minato, Kushina, and Tsunade, as all of these shinobi has trained both of them. As he said, what do you mean by that, Naruto? As Naruto, as he said, well, they do work together, but their strategy are not working together. They may seem to attack me at once, but they have no strategy whatsoever, just trying to get their chance or trying to hit me. And it is pretty disappointing, considering that they were trained by so many shinobis who preach about teamwork and all those type of things. So yeah, well, they did try to use Nine Chakra. I think that I got a bit overboard and knocked both of them out. So yeah, that is that. As Kushina saw at that, it was already, you can say, pretty humiliating whenever someone told them, as both Kushina as well as Minato, even Kakashi took out the, you can say, thing of teaching teamwork and all, and they have trained Menma and Naruto for years, but yet they still do not understand a thing about teamwork. They do work together, but still they do not have any strategy. It is just that I punch first and you punch second, those type of things, and she did not like it whatsoever as she saw her, wondering what she has to do about the passing them. Well, guys, here I will left this part. Hope you guys enjoyed it. In the next part, we shall see if the team actually passes or fails, and the other things, the reaction of Jiraiya, Tsunade, and Minato. For the next part, the like goal is going to be, let's say, 300 likes and 180 comments. Do that, and I shall upload the next part as quick as possible. So, yeah, guys, peace and happy new year.